Well, boy, I fed up, I tired, I'm mad and I'm angry too. At you, my people, my very people, acting like you don't have a clue. At every juncture and situation, you always seem to make the wrong choice. And when you reaping the seeds that you sow, you move on in and making noise. And like a cycle over and over, that's my toe, you refuse to learn. Well, this back to front mentality is really cause for concern. Over there, yeah, boy, we moving over there, yeah. Is it that we give up out there, or do we figure the end is near? So we don't care, over there, yeah. The whole country over there, yeah. Like we stuck in a reverse gear. So we moving over there, yeah. 20 years a man in a chair. Boy, we moving over there, yeah. Still the country facing despair. Boy, we moving over there, yeah. We need change and the signs are clear. Yet we moving over there, yeah. So what the hell he's still doing there?
Just before we head over to the evening's news, I just want to tell you it's a 5-day mega sale at the $3 Plus Mega Store. It has started and it will end on Friday the 31st. 25% off store-wide. Doors open from 8 a.m. and close at 5 p.m. $3 Plus Mega Store located on the corner of Independence Street and Great Marlborough Street. Contact them on telephone number 449-9951 or come on down and enjoy the 5 days of $3 Plus Mega Store sale happening right now.
Lafayette's House Medical Laboratory, my preferred choice for professional and confidential medical laboratory services. Lafayette provides results for all medical tests. If it can't be done there, they will facilitate it through their international partners. Their main office in Roseau is open from 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mondays to Fridays and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Home visits and emergency services are also available. Call 448-0100, WhatsApp 276-5213 or visit any of their locations. Cross Street, Roseau, Pickard, Portsmouth, Marigot or Grand Bay. Lafayette's House Medical Laboratory. My choice, your choice, our choice.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, Dominica records its first gun-related fatality for 2025. In the news from the region, Guyana receives EC 5.3 million in humanitarian aid from Saudi Arabia. And internationally, U.S. President Donald Trump's administration halts supply of HIV and malaria drugs to poor countries. The details of these stories and more coming up next.
Tune in to DBS Radio at 7 o'clock this evening for a discussion with the OECS Queen contestants. Ivona John Baptist Luge will interview the 5 ladies who will vie for the title of Miss OECS 2025. Join DBS Radio at 7 o'clock this evening on all DBS Radio's frequencies, television channels, and the DBS Radio social media platforms of Facebook and YouTube.
DBS News.
And welcome back. Former Customs Officer Ganef Jolly has been shot dead. Jolly was shot at Everton Estate in Lubia, where he lived at around 12 o'clock this afternoon. Police confirmed that the Major Crime Unit has begun investigations into the incident. Police say the motive for the shooting death is not yet known. This is the second homicide for the year. 35-year-old Siobhan Devon LaRoque of Salisbury was stabbed to death following an altercation with an unidentified suspect on Saturday, 11th January. Still in the national focus, the Dominicans are being advised that the sale and possible limited export of wildlife is prohibited as of January 31, 2025. According to a press release from the Forestry, Wildlife and Parks Division of the Ministry of Environment, the hunting season was officially closed as of December 31, 2024. It states that it is now an offense under the Forestry and Wildlife Act for persons to engage in any form of hunting or fishing during the closed season and as such are liable to a fine of $2,500 per offense. The release adds that persons found selling and exporting wildlife, including parts thereof, shall be prosecuted by law and face a fine of $5,000 per offense. It continues that exportation will not be granted to persons until the next hunting season is officially reopened. Still here in the national focus, the St. Martin's Secondary School has amassed the highest score in round 1 of the first competition in the Inter-Secondary Schools debating competition. The Castle Bruce Secondary School and the St. Martin's Secondary School went head-to-head this afternoon at the UE Global Campus. The topic debated was skills-based learning has become more relevant than formal academic training in meeting the economic needs of Dominica. Here are some insights into this afternoon's debate from the winning school of the St. Martin's Secondary School.
Madam Moderator, this same article asserts that structural reforms to modernize the economy through efforts like skills upgrading could enable economic growth. Simply having paper qualifications will not cut it. Madam Moderator, to assist Dominica in growing economically, especially as new economic drivers are being explored, we must focus on skill-based learning. The average bachelor degree via a traditional college or university costs tens of thousands of dollars. Skill-based training is a fraction of that cost. Ms. Seraphine from the Tibet Council stated, and I quote, "Tibet learners have less debt than university graduates."
Meantime, the award for Best Speaker went to Kayana Seja from the Castle Bruce Secondary School.
Madam Moderator, when we dissect our opponent's arguments, we have come to a definite conclusion that skill-based learning alone has limitations. While it focuses on specific tasks, it often lacks the depth needed to adapt to evolving economic demands.
And that was Best Speaker of Castle Bruce Secondary School student Kayana Seja. And the power company Domlec is looking to restore 6 megawatts of capacity by the end of February 2025 as it continues in efforts to improve reliability and increase the generation supply. Generation Manager at Domlec, Dave Stamp, says this is part of a major maintenance program which began in 2024. He says the program entails the complete major overhaul of about 13 units.
We started by ensuring that we complete the major maintenance, the aggressive major maintenance program that we started in 2024. And we have been pretty much successful at it. For instance, we expect by the end of this quarter to have completed maybe about 50% of that program. And also, from a reliability point of view, we have a number of units that are out of service, either undergoing major maintenance work in progress, or out of service due to unplanned issues. And so our estimation, we intend to restore maybe approximately 6 megawatts of capacity, certainly before the end of February. And that will significantly improve our generation capacity and the reserve margin. So we need to expedite the return of some of these units that are out of service as early as possible in the year. And our aim is certainly by the end of February to have a lot of these capacities returned to service, and therefore assisting in ensuring that we have enough surplus capacity to avoid the reliability and the load management programs that we have had to employ and inconvenience our customers.
And that was the Generation Manager at Domlec, Dave Stamp. More from the national focus, local entrepreneurs have been given an opportunity to further develop their businesses with the launch of the 3rd edition of the Green Innovative Summit. The official launch of the summit is set for this Friday and will unveil groundbreaking projects and initiatives aimed at fostering environmental sustainability and innovation. The summit, which is being organized by the National Development Foundation of Dominica, NDFD, will take place on June 31 2025.
The National Development Foundation of Dominica is thrilled to announce the launch of the highly anticipated third edition of the Green Innovation Summit this Friday, January 31st. This groundbreaking event will bring together creative minds, entrepreneurs, and environmental advocates to promote and develop innovative green solutions that address Dominica's most pressing environmental challenges. Set to take place June 3rd to 7th, the Green Innovation Summit continues to serve as a vital platform for fostering sustainable development in Dominica. Participants will have the opportunity to present their eco-friendly business ideas, network with industry experts, and gain invaluable mentorship from seasoned professionals. This year's summit will spotlight themes such as renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, waste management, and green technology. With a strong focus on innovation and practical solutions, the event aims to inspire Dominica's next generation of ecopreneurs and strengthen the country's resilience against climate change.
Business support specialist at the National Development Foundation of Dominica, Damian Dumas. Dumas encourages local entrepreneurs to take advantage of the opportunity.
Past editions have seen remarkable success, with participants launching viable green businesses that continue to contribute positively to the environment and the local economy. The NDFD remains committed to empowering local innovators and fostering a culture of sustainable entrepreneurship. Interested individuals, businesses, and organizations are encouraged to join in as sponsors of this transformative experience. Join us at the Green Innovation Summit as we pave the way toward a greener, more sustainable Dominica.
Business support specialist NDFD Damian Dumas. Still in the national focus, Attorney at Law Cara Shillingford says more protection should be given to calypsonians which serve a public purpose, or calypsos which serve a public purpose. Shillingford made the remarks whilst appearing as a guest on the Legally Speaking program last night. The show was dedicated to the memory of the late Evelina Baptist under the topic Calypso, Freedom of Expression versus Defamation.
Well, I think calypso should be treated differently, but not differently to give it complete immunity. Okay. Because at the end of the day, you have to balance rights. And while it is that persons should be free to speak on social issues and political issues because they serve a great purpose, which is they serve the public interest, they protect the public interest. You have those cases on one hand which have, really big, tremendous value in terms of the contribution it can make to society. But on the other, it is not every subject of a calypso that is aimed at protecting the public interest. There might be a calypso which is simply unwarranted personal attack on an individual that has nothing to do with the public interest. So if it is that it pertains to protecting the public interest, then that is fine. You should have some level of protection about it in that kind of calypso, but not if it really does not pertain to the public interest. So I believe there should be a balancing of rights, and more protection should be given to those calypsos which serve a public purpose.
And that was Attorney at Law Cara Shillingford. Meantime, a veteran calypsonian, Darrell Bob, says the calypso art form should never be used as a platform to directly slander a person's name or character.
I really don't think that the calypsonian should have the right, because he's an artist, to slander anyone, libel and those things. I don't think so. I'm with Cara on that 200%, that there needs to be, you have to work within the ambits of the law. You still have to, because it's an expression. There are poets who write, they just write words, and there are calypsonians who write lyrics and melody. It doesn't make you different from someone who calls the radio to just speak, You have the same impact, basically. You can say something about somebody and hurt them, destroy their reputation. Somebody could lose a job interview tomorrow based on what he said about them in the media, So those are things that we have to agree to, So the calypsonian should not have a carte blanche to just go out and say what he wants. Because the calypso, real artistic calypso, can mask or should mask. And it came way back from our ancestors. It's something that we just tend to ignore nowadays, because I guess a lot of people don't really have the time to, work it out. What is he really saying? Who is he singing about? Maybe that's what everybody just want to have, an immediate hit impact kind of thing. But what really makes calypso interesting is when it's properly masked, when the use of satire, puns, innuendos, those kind of things are used, not just direct speech like reported speech.
And that was veteran calypsonian Daryl Bob. In tonight's featured segment, we shine a spotlight on Abia Israel, a rising calypsonian who has harnessed her musical platform to spread messages of positivity, liberation, and spirituality. Israel, who has been active in the calypso scene for 5 years, has rapidly made a name for herself with her powerful and impactful songs. This year, she was competing with one of her standout tracks called Set My People Free, which inspires listeners to overcome life's challenges and urging them to persist despite adversity. Abia Israel is our feature on this evening's featured segment.
All right, so shalom to all the listeners of DBS. I am Abia Israel, and Calypso came into my life really from my father. So I first fell in love with Calypso from my home. And as I grew up, I understand other genres, alongside Calypso, as how it was birthed, why we sing it, and how important it is to our society and telling culture and maintaining culture. And, evidently I just automatically fell into it. I think it was inevitable that I fell into the Calypso arena. Well, I have been a Calypsonian for almost 5 years now, and really and truly being in Calypso has forced me or challenged me to be more expressive in the message that I want to bring out. It's a competition. Yes, I sing reggae music. Yes, I sing calypso. Calypso has actually trained me to be a better performer. And so this year, my song is called...
And that was Abia Israel, our feature segment on this evening's news. Taking us to the end of this evening's news and featured segment. Up next is news from the region and international.
Tune in to DBS Radio at 7 this evening for a discussion with the OECS Queen contestants. Ivona John Baptist Luge will interview the 5 ladies who will vie for the title of Miss OECS 2025. Join DBS Radio at 7 this evening on both radio, all DBS Radio's television's platform on Flow and Digicel, and DBS Radio's social media platform of Facebook and YouTube.
DBS News.
In the news from the region, the government and Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has donated 21 humanitarian aid containers with essential supplies to the government and people of Grenada to aid in the restoration of our islands following the devastation caused by Hurricane Beryl in July 2024. The relief supplies, which include chainsaws, diesel generators, rechargeable hand flashlights, and the like, are estimated at EC $5.3 million and were handed over to Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell during a ceremony held earlier this week at the Port Authority Welcome Center. This donation forms part of King Salam Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center's efforts to provide humanitarian aid and relief to those in need outside the kingdom's borders. Internationally, the Donald Trump administration has moved to stop the supply of life-saving drugs for HIV, malaria, and tuberculosis, as well as medical supplies for newborn babies in countries supported by U.S. aids around the globe. A memo reviewed by Reuters showed that on Tuesday, contractors and partners who work with the United States Agency for International Development, or USAID, began receiving such memos to stop work immediately, sources stated. The move is part of a wider freeze on U.S. aid and fundings in place since Trump took office on January 20th, whilst programs were reviewed. This brings us to the end of this evening's news. Up next is sports.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
And welcome to your DBS Evening Sports for today, January 28, 2025. First off, Windward Islands Volcanoes captain Sunil Ambris says it is important for the team to get off to a good start as they open up their campaign in the Cricket West Indies Regional 4-day tournament on Wednesday. The Volcanoes will play the Jamaican Scorpions in their first match. The Volcanoes finished second last season, and Ambris is hoping that the Volcanoes can take the step forward, as he says he feels honored to lead the Volcanoes.
First of all, let me say thank God, because without him this wouldn't have been possible. And on the captaincy, I think it's something really special, because I don't think that this is something that I would ever be doing again. So it's really special for me.
Composition of the 13, you want to speak a little bit about that heading into this game?
Seeing that we're missing a number of really important guys. Hodge, Alec, and Springer. We would have loved to have them. And if we be honest, they're two of our better players. But I think what the guys that we have here are really talented. We have a number of youngsters who haven't really played much at this level, but I think they have what it takes, and once they do the right things for long enough and they're hungry enough, I think we're going to be just good.
The last season wasn't a good season for the Jamaica Scorpions. Expecting a stiff challenge from them?
Yes. If you look at their team, they basically picked the exact same team that they had for the Super 50. So and they did pretty well. They got to the finals. They got back John Campbell, and he's been missing for a number of years. And I think he's the most important link to their chain. And he seems to be in a really good headspace. So I think it's going to be a challenge, but having said that, I think we're up for it.
Windward Islands Volcanoes vice captain Sunil Ambris. Meantime, Dominica's Kamal Hamilton could make his first class debut, as he has been included in the Windward Islands Volcanoes squad for the match on Wednesday. The tall off-spinner is amongst the 4 Dominicans in the Windward's squad for their first match against the Jamaican Scorpions, starting tomorrow in St. Vincent. The other Dominicans are Stephen Pascal, Gillon Tyson and Gian Benjamin. The Windward's team will be captained by Sunil Ambris in the absence of Alec Athenes, who is still out on West Indies duties. The full team is Sunil Ambris, Kenneth Demba, Gian Benjamin, Kieron Coti, Daryl Cyrus, Shadrach Descarte, Janelle Eugene, Kamal Hamilton, Ryan John, Darius Martin, Stephen Pascal, Jeremy Solanzo, and Gillon Tyson. The Windwards are being coached by Kenroy Peters, former West Indies wicket-keeper Carlton Ball Jr., and the assistant coach, and Liam Sebastian as the team manager. Still in some more sports this evening here, West Indies spinner Jomel Warrican says consistency was the key to his success against the Pakistan team. Warrican was the star of the series, taking 19 wickets in total as the West Indies beat Pakistan in Pakistan for the first time since 1990. Warrican was named player of the series, equaling the record held by Shane Chillingford and Gudakesh Moti for the most wickets in a 2-match series by a West Indian with 19.
Yes, speed is very important. We had to work out that the slower you bowl, the more effective you'll be on the wicket. So once I got that information, I use it to my advantage. Just the belief and trust in your game plan and backing ourselves to win the game. Also, the fight back we showed in second innings, bowling out Pakistan for a cheap total, brought back the belief, and we know once we batted well, we're in with a chance to win the game.
The consistency that you've worked on, the consistency, even when you slow it up, is that the key to your bowling?
Yeah, just the variation in pace and hitting the same length over and over and being consistent. Consistency is the key to everything in life.
West Indies spinner Jomel Warrican. Meantime, West Indies captain Craig Brathwaite says Jomel Warrican was special. He also had high praises for Jaden Seals and Kemar Roach.
Yeah, Jomel was outstanding. To see how he went about his bowling. And the pressure he built from ball one, it was amazing. With the bat, you can't count him out. I think he did a fantastic job with the bat as well. But bowling-wise, I know he's worked hard over the years. He's been in and out of the team. But it's good to see him get the chance and he grabbed it. Very, very proud of him. He was outstanding from ball one. He was always the right pace on this pitch. And yeah, truly, truly amazing. But I must comment on Jaden Seals and Kemar Roach. Coming on these surfaces, obviously spinners would get majority of the wickets, but to see those guys came and got those wickets with the new ball in both test matches was truly amazing. I mean, Kemar Roach is a serious impact player in this team. You know, he's a leader on and off the field. And to see he went about, unfortunately, he went down, you know, with a catch. But, you know, I think he's a champion of this team, and he must be highlighted. But I must commend the fast bowlers for the job they've done. I mean, Justin Greer didn't get wickets. He bowled a few overs. But, yeah, this is a good group. And we know what we had to do, and we went up there and done it.
And that was West Indies captain Craig Brathwaite. Now bowling off into some women's cricket, Hayley Matthews was her usual self with the bat, and Deandra Doughton reminded everyone why she is called the world boss as the West Indies women raced to victory over Bangladesh in the first T20 in St. Kitts last night. Matthews was clinical, whilst Doughton provided the brute force as the West Indies cruised to the 8-wicket win. Bangladesh won the toss and batted first and got 144 for free in their 20 overs. Nigar Sultana Jyoti got 53. Well, that's Nigar Sultana Jyoti who got 53, and Sherry-Ann Fraser picked up 1 for 23. Hayley Matthews 1 for 36, and Afi Fletcher 1 for 30. The Windies in reply chased the total down with comfort as Hayley Matthews hit 59 and not out, and Deandra Doughton got 50 off just 21 balls, with 7 sixes being the fastest T20 half-century by a West Indian as the Windies posted 145 for 2 in 16.5 overs. Deandra Doughton was named player of the match.
My emotions are pretty easy. It's always good to get out there and get some runs on the board and bring home the game for the team.
It must be a good surface for you to go the way you went out and play. Tell us a little bit about the surface and your mindset.
To be honest, the surface was a road. It's a really good surface. It was good to bat on. So I think 140 was a really good total that we restricted into in order to change it down.
You have struck the most sixes of any player in the women's game. Tell us a little bit about your strengths and six hitting.
It's just a matter of keeping your eyes on the ball, you know, and watching it long and connecting on it and actually clearing the fence.
And that over in particular, when you took some 20 runs from it, you just went for everything, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, like it was actually there to go for. It was a bit slow, and the wind, and I had a breeze to assist me as well, so I just go with it.
And that was a player of the match, Deandra Doughton. The West Indies lead the series 1-0. The second T20 is on Wednesday. Still in some sports here, into some bodybuilding news. President of the Dominica Bodybuilding Association, Emmanuel Loblack, says Dominica has lost a true champion with the passing of former bodybuilder Bertrand Bruni. Bruni passed away after a battle with illness last week. Loblack says Bruni was a true professional in the sport of bodybuilding.
Numerous national and OECS titles, in Dominica, and he was a very committed individual, very nice individual, a family-oriented man, a humbled man, a joiner by profession. Bertrand, we know that was alien for some time, but his passing was a bit surprise to me. But he has gone to meet his maker. We know that the bodybuilders, who are alive still, I know that they are how shocked they are, because Bertie we were like a family in those days, working in patients' gyms. That is where the whole thing originated from. And Bertie took on karateka, and then he moved into weightlifting, and he got involved. He got to love bodybuilding, and from there he catapulted as a force to reckon with in bodybuilding in Dominica and the OECS. That. It is just very, very sad. He had to depart from this world. But again, when your maker call you, there's nothing we can do. And once again, on behalf the Bodybuilding Association, I would like to extend hearty, condolences to his wife and his children and the bodybuilding fraternity in Dominica.
And that was President of the Dominica Bodybuilding Association, Emmanuel Loblack. The West Indies women's under-19 team crashed to another heavy defeat as they ended their campaign in the ICC Women's Under-19 World Cup in Malaysia this morning. The Windies went down by 10 wickets to Bangladesh as they suffered yet another disappointing showing with the bat. Windies were restricted to 54 for 6 in their 13 overs. Bangladesh replied with 55 for 0 in 8.5 overs. The loss meant that the Windies finished at the bottom of the Super 6 stage. It also meant that they finished the World Cup with 1 win from 5 matches in the tournament. That win came against the host country, Malaysia. And finally, in some sports this evening here, the sports division is launching a new football program which will target students from the ages of 5 to 10 at the primary school level. Sports coordinator Trevor Shillingford says the program is being run with assistance from the sports department of Switzerland. He said,
there is still a gap at our primary schools, and that is the students from ages 5 to 10. Realizing that there's this gap, we are now introducing a program which we call Play More Football Dominica. And that program will cater for students from ages 5 to 10 at our primary schools and also in our communities. So as we speak, we have an official from the Department of Youth and Sports in Switzerland who will be assisting us with the introduction of that particular program. And we'll be training during that period community coaches, coaches from the academy, and also coaches at the school who will be responsible for developing or implementing that program for students between the ages of 5 to 10.
And that was a sports coordinator, Trevor Shillingford, taking us to the end of this evening's news and sports. Special thanks to the DBS News and Sports team and link personnel, DJ Haloboy.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
Good evening and welcome to the evening edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. We begin with the evening edition of the DBS Radio Death Announcements on the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It is the 28th day of January 2025. We announce the death of Mr. Francis Rowland Powell, better known as Paul, age 70, of Providence, Paybush. He died on Saturday, January 18th, 2025, at the Reginald Fitzgerald Armour Hospital in Portsmouth. He was the son of the late Maria Remy, his daughters Era and Annie in France, and Giselle in Saint Martin. He will also be remembered by his sisters Jo and Remy Francois and Eudora in Saint Martin, Melanie, Sylvia, Mary, Gloria, and Myrtle Powell. His brothers Jonah Remy and Henderson Francois in Saint Martin, Richardson St. Louis, Maxime and Joseph Powell. Brother-in-law Martin Francois. Sister-in-law Patricia Remy in St. Martin, nieces Joycelyn, Shanika, Sherman, Candy in St. Martin, Heidi in Nevis, Esther in Canada, Vicky in Holland, and Marlene. Nephews Isaac, Nathan, Michael, and Nelson in St. Martin, Sheldon in England, Ashon and Ian in Holland, and Lincoln. His cousins Morella and Vernell, Margalie and family, Rosamond and Anthony Remy, the children of Antoinette Theodore, children of Magdalene Augustine, including Ruthlyn LeBlanc and family, the children of the late George Remy, close friends Carrie, Augustina, Adele, Honorable Lakia Joseph, Paybush Yes We Care team, residents of Providence, Paybush, and Portsmouth, many other relatives and friends, both here and abroad, names too numerous to mention. The body of the late Francis Rowland Powell can be viewed from 1:30 p.m. on Wednesday, the 29th of January, 2025, at the Beacon of Life and Hope Christian Fellowship in Paybush. The funeral service takes place at 2 p.m. and will be followed by interment at the Paybush Public Cemetery. We announce the death of Ignace Avondale Datush, age 71, of Dubic Granby, who resided at Scott's Head. He died on Monday, the 30th of December, at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. The body of the late Ignace Avondale Datush of Dubic Granby, who resided at Scott's Head, can be viewed from 1:30 p.m. on Wednesday, the 5th of February, at the Sophia Roman Catholic Church. The funeral mass will take place at 2 p.m. and will be followed by interment at the Sophia Roman Catholic Cemetery. We announce the death of Elizabeth Bella Catherine Fontaine, age 92, of Petite Soufriere. She died on Wednesday, the 4th of December, 2024. She was a member of the St. Vincent de Paul Society. She was the mother of Patricia and Princess, who reside in Florida. She will be remembered by her 10 grandchildren: Brenda in Florida, Angelo, Angela, Precious, Pretty, Rose, Sherlon, Patrice, Eddie, and Shanna. Her 15 great-grandchildren to include Easy or Izzy, Snow, Taj or Taj, Winter, Sherlon, Nova, Kurt, Dishon, Nikki, Malika, Ryan, Malik, Amanda, and Dido. 5 great-great-grandchildren: Terry, Aviana, Jayon, Malaysia, Candido, and Saraya. 2 sons-in-law, Winston and Heathcliff. Nieces and nephews including Iroy and George. Godchild, Martha. Other relatives to include Jerome and family, Stephanie, Magdalene in New York, Cornelia, Zixia, Margel and the Dura family, and the Defoe family in Bagatelle. Close friends: Vanya, Miss Lass, Lorna and family, Julia and family, Ernie and George, also Kent, Isol, Eve and family, Bessie and the Newton family, Paulina and family, Miss Stout and family, Edith and family, Honorable Octavia Alfred, and other family and friends, names too numerous to mention. The body of the late Elizabeth Fontaine of Petite Soufriere will be viewed on Saturday, the 1st of February 2025, from 1 p.m. at the Saint-Sauveur Catholic Church. The funeral mass takes place at 2 p.m. and will be followed by interment at the Saint-Sauveur Catholic Cemetery. We announce the death of Shirley Stevens, age 79, of Massac, who resided at Canefield East. She died on Friday, the 17th of January, at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. She was the mother of Kurt Paquette. She will also be remembered by her 3 sisters, Laureen and Doreen Stevens and Elaine Coppell. Her 4 brothers, Fagan, Curdy, and Lloyd Stevens, and Hillary. Nieces, Sherma, Connie, Candia, Janai, Andrina, Kerner, and Kelma. Nephews, Danny, Michael, Charlo, Bernard, Carl, Luther, Garvey, Marvin, Chad, and Keith. Aunt, Medelia Etienne. Sisters-in-law, Caesarina and Sybil Stevens. Brother-in-law, Oscar Coppell. Nieces and nephews-in-law, Kishma, Lorna, Junior, and Dalton. Grandnieces and nephews, Dan, Zelia, Brian, Kylon, Dillon, Jarrell, Jewel, Cornelia, Luja, Noeleni, Chloe, Clea, Cleo, Shauna, and Latolia. Great-grandniece, Kaylani. Close relatives, Matilda, Fatima, Rosie, David, Heather, Cindy, Miranda, Glenn, Dolan, Magdalene, Flynn, Dorian, Rona, Marcia, Josephine, and Cletus. Close friends, Jean or Jean, Claudia, Will, Dew, Julius, Victoria, that should be Victoria Paquette, and children, Ayrton, Joyce, Sean, Kelly, Purso, Anne, Sharika, Zelda, Athenia, Alex, Bertrand, Isma, Merlin, Pearlie, Debbie, Vandeline, Sirkani, Vernon, Latricia, Caitlin, Meredith and family, Ma Islin, Georgine, Royce, Deloni, Vanita and Ma Clemencia. Numerous godchildren including Hermie, Lynn, Kelvin, Theophil, Felix, Patty, Jeff, Linda, Kalia, the Stevens, Etienne, Copel, Dublin and Paquette families, other relatives and friends names too numerous to mention, and the community of Massac, or the communities, of Massac and Maho. The body of the late Shirley Stevens will be transported from Lyndhurst Funeral Home for viewing at 1:30 p.m. on Wednesday, the 29th of January at the St. Martin de Porres Catholic Church in Canefield. The funeral mass begins at 2 p.m. and will be followed by interment at the Roseau Catholic Cemetery. Management and staff of DBS Radio extends deepest condolences to all bereaved.
And now, your community bulletin board.
Let's now present to you this evening's edition of the DBS Radio General Announcements on the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. Dominica Freight Systems Portsmouth office will be temporarily closed for renovations starting Thursday, January 30th, 2025. Office pickups, payments, and in-person inquiries will not be available during the renovation. However, delivery service will continue on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All packages at the Portsmouth office should be collected by Thursday, January 30th. Staff will be available via telephone at 255-6860, 255-6861, or 255-6862. You can also contact them via email, which is contact@dfs.dm. Thank you for your understanding. The government of Dominica invites residents of the Kalinago territory and surrounding communities to a town hall meeting on Wednesday, the 29th of January at 6 p.m. at the Salibia Primary School. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit and members of cabinet will be present to provide updates on government's ongoing initiatives and to address residents' concerns. Your voice matters. Please make a special effort to attend and participate in the discussions. P.H. Williams and Company requires for immediate employment factory workers, truck drivers, mechanics, and operators of heavy equipment. Drivers and operators must possess a valid Class C license, and all applicants are required to submit a recent police record. Apply in person to the manager, P.H. Williams, Canefield, or call 235-2252. The Northeastern Funeral Association is reaching out to persons of the Northeast who have, in recent times, experienced grief through the loss of a loved one. You are invited to an aftercare service on Thursday, 30th January 2025 at the Wesley Community Center. The session will commence at 2 p.m. Refreshments will be served. Tune in to DBS Radio from 7 o'clock this evening for a discussion with the OECS Queen contestants. Ivona John Baptiste Luge will interview the 5 ladies who will vie for the title of Miss OECS 2025. Join DBS Radio at 7 o'clock this evening on all our DBS radio frequencies, our both television channels on DigiPlay and Flow TV, and our social media platforms of DBS Radio on Facebook and YouTube. We've come to the end of the general announcements on this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. We have some What's On, starting off like this.
The Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development and the Cultural Division presents Old Mas Juve. Yes, Old Mas Juve. So Vini, come, indulge yourself in the sound of Lapo Cabwet. See the big bottom ladies roll and shibule with the sensei. There'll also be stilt walkers, steel pen music, and more. So join us, Vini Messier, on February 8th at 4 a.m. in Bath Estate for Old Mas Juve.